first of all, let's go right in. JC, what is your how did this whole height thing get started? I know you're in Nicaragua. I know how you met your wife because I've been to your events and like I've heard the story, but I don't think I've heard the business side of it. Like, how did the business get started? Help us understand the full, you know,
Yeah. We were super blessed, man. My wife and I were cruising around as entrepreneurs, and we got invited to another agency to be a part of it. And we came on as minority owners. I mean, the smallest amount of ownership you can imagine. And we got up to about 350 employees, like full time in office. I mean, it was incredible, and it was an amazing environment in so many ways, Paulson. I mean, amazing environment. But it was crazy, dude. It was nuts. Like, I mean, talking, uh, and the owners was such great people. Dude, it was so cool. I mean, we had beer Fridays. We had I mean, it was just nuts, crazy. I won't go into details. Anyway, there was a point where we just weren't quite aligned on values, and all the owners were kind of
Sure.
separating. And you've been in a fast-growing organization. It's really tough. As you scale and grow, and so we decided to split off and go on our own. And with that, we brought about 25 or 30 employees with us over the next 6 months or so. And we started Height, and our goal is to really found it on family values. And so we had a nursery in our office. Every kid was on scholarship. We were really committed to creating a great work environment, which I think is a big part of y'all's philosophy and scaling as well. And it worked out for us really, really well. Within a year, we were bigger than that other, I think maybe 2 years bigger than the other agency that we had left. And all the owners from that agency was gone. It was, all over the place. But that's how we got in, right? And I think even this workshop, right? Like, there's something beauty about starting your own thing, but also learning from other people as well, right? And the skills that you have in HighLevel give this beautiful mix of, you want to go add a ridiculous amount of value to another company, there's no better place to be. But also, if you want a strategy to go start your own thing, that's huge as well.
Yeah. So for those of you that are watching, and this is maybe if it's your first event with us, a virtual event with us, maybe it's your first like week of your trial, maybe you're not even on a trial yet, you're just watching from far and you're hearing all this buzz about HighLevel and just haven't made the jump yet. I want to invite you to a concept here, which is everyone can learn from everyone, regardless of where they are. I believe a first grader can teach a kindergartner. I believe a college professor can also teach a kindergartner. And JC might be someone who might be, I would say, a lot further in the entrepreneurial journey. They've been doing this for almost a decade or even longer. But that doesn't mean, you maybe you're starting off and you're at your 9 to 5 and you're trying to make that first jump. It doesn't mean you don't have anything to learn because they're so far ahead. So don't let that be a reason for you to not lean in here. We have by design tried our best to go through the content we've prepared for you and in a way respectfully created to be an elementary experience so you can take practical steps. And that's what I'm excited for. So JC, what are we going to learn over the next 3 days? Help us understand what we can expect for today, and we'll go there.
So, as we grew Height, and you just hit it, we just got our 35,000 award. And as I look back, there's so many things I would do different in terms of a foundation of like what I would lay. And that's what we're going to go over today in day one. Two concepts that I think going back, even companies that we're trying to acquire or partner up with, or even wherever we're working on, this foundation matters because as you embark on this journey, you got to know what you're getting in for. Entrepreneurship is not easy from a long shot. I think HighLevel compounds your opportunity for success. So that's gonna be day one, this foundation, and we're gonna talk about service a little bit. Day two, tomorrow, we're gonna be talking about the specific features within HighLevel that I would focus on. Because one of the things, if you guys are new to HighLevel, or even if you've been around, HighLevel does a stupid amount of incredible, amazing stuff. I can't even keep up with it all. And so I don't expect anyone else to, but if it were me and my wife, we would go back and here's a few things we would focus on. And just that alone is gonna be able to launch in the day three. we get into the real sexy stuff. We're going to talk about growth, sales, branding. How do we go out and get our first clients on HighLevel so that we can start really learning a lot more and a lot faster pace and start moving forward? So HighLevel business, the product itself, and then growth.
So speak to the entrepreneur that is, let's divide it up into three. Talk to the entrepreneur that's still at their 9 to 5.
Mm,
They had just told their partner or spouse or a friend or whoever that they're going to start a business. They're
yeah.
learning from far. They don't have a client yet, but at some point this year they're going to make that jump. Talk to that person.
Guys, so one of the cool things about HighLevel, and I don't know if I could say this, I'm just going to say it. The affordability to get into HighLevel to start testing compared to the value you can add to a company. We have the opportunity to do workshops all the time for people and speak to business owners. There's BNIs, chambers, everywhere you go. If you just simply walked up and said, man, I've got an amazing tool that can dramatically impact your email marketing. Do you send emails to your clients? 99% of people will say no. And boom, now you're in. And I think one of the great things about this tool is that I have taken a very value first approach to this. And a lot of tools, it's really expensive to go in because you need a tool per every single client that you go out there for. With HighLevel, I can actually serve 10, 20, 30 clients very, very affordably in a ridiculous manner. Serve, now at the same time, I'm learning. I'm serving them so that they're getting value. And then it's a really easy upsell down the road. It's a really easy to go, hey, we tried this out for 60 days. Here's the results. And it's a holistic platform. So you have your tracking, your data, your links, it's endless on what you can learn, right? And so if you're a new user, especially if you're full-time, maybe I talked the other day to a full-time mom, it's like, man, I have limited time, but I would love to do something. I'd love to start somewhere. I've got 2 or 3 or 4 hours a week that I can invest in this. Oh my goodness, here we go. This is what you need to do, right?
And actually, I would love to interact with the crowd here. I see there's about 225 plus people on Zoom. There's another 50, 60 people on every single channel, all, added up. I'm assuming a couple hundred there as well. Tell us where you are in your journey. Like, it's okay
Yeah.
to, be vulnerable and raise your hand and say, hey, I'm just starting out. I don't have any clients yet. Or maybe you're in the early stages of building out your case studies. Maybe you have 2 or 3 clients and you're trying to prove something with them so then they can turn it into a referral machine. Or maybe tell us, hey, you know what? I'm a fellow Inc. 5000 award winner as well, and I'm scaling and mail in, and I've got a rocket ship as well. Like, tell us where you are in your journey, and this will allow us to kind of navigate through examples a lot more easier. And we're paying attention to the Facebook page streaming, just so you are aware. So, JC, I made you a co-host. You should be able to now share your screen, and let me get out of the way. I think we're all set here to go right into the lessons in the curriculum.
I love it. Love it. And guys, feel free to interact. They're going to interrupt me as I get going here. And so feel free to ask questions, interact, talk to me, whatever, guys. I'm a super open guy. I have failed way more than probably anyone watching this. In fact, I just did a 30 days of failure on Instagram, just showcasing all the trials and difficulties that it's been for us. So we're going to jump in here, guys. Again, any thoughts, ideas, just throw them in here. So Digital Leap Challenge. We can skip through a couple of these slides here. So again, as Paulson and I talked about today, just this concept for me, I'm all about this idea of scaling with stability. Some of you guys have experienced ridiculous growth and it leads to anxiety. I got to hire, I'm this, I'm that, I'm taking care. It can get really messy, right? Also, you're on the other end of, man, I can't grow. How do I sell? And so for me, I want to grow in a way that not only my business is stable, but for me, my marriage is stable, my kids are stable. I'm not working 100 hours a week, so on and so forth. Day 2, again, we're talking about tools. And then day 3, all about sales. All right, what's the goal? For those that want to create their own digital marketing business, guys, I'm telling you, I have never seen, forget the tool, a methodology, like a framework of being able to scale more than I've seen. Some of you guys are wanting to create passive income. Some of you are wanting, again, just a side hustle. Some of you guys are wanting to go, hey, I want to start your own business. I'm telling you, this is what it's all about, right? Who's it not meant for, guys? I don't like excuses too much. I want to, but I can't. There's not one person in HighLevel that didn't start at zero, right? I need more time. Guys, I run 7 companies, 100 employees. I got 2 kids. I turn off my phone every day at 4:30. More time, guys, you have the time you need. I promise you. The question is, do you have the commitment, which we'll talk about here in a second? I'll be ready next week. All these guys, stop making excuses. You got to take action. I mean, I'll give you a story real quick. I was meeting one of my mentors. He is the founder of the show The Chosen, and he's also a big YouTuber, and he has been trying for years to get me to go on YouTube. And no. And finally, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. Within 4 weeks, I got over 1,000 hours viewed of my YouTube channel. I'm like, I didn't take action. And it was even a crappy channel. Like, you go watch the videos, you're gonna cancel out immediately. But I finally took action, and it worked for me. So you're not the only one that struggle with it. One must be wise enough to pray for the change that you want to see, but equally disciplined. In fact, I always say, my goal at the end of this webinar is that you either have the discipline to execute or the confidence to execute. I don't really care which one, to be honest. You could just be so excited and motivated that you just go running, blindly into it, or you may not be, in which case you'll have to have the discipline here, guys. So, all right, hope, determination. Let's keep going here, guys. I will tell you, Karen and I, when we got married, we lost everything. I had built up $1 million. We had 52 homes, a Cessna airplane, a custom Harley Davidson, and we lost it all. We lived in the maids' quarters. Those of you that have ever been to Latin America, we lived in the maids' quarters of our dad's house, where the commode was literally like 6 feet from the twin size bed for the first year. So we've come from the ground up, as most of us all have, right? So we've been where you are. Here's where we're at today. I get the opportunity to work with Willie and Corey Robertson from Duck Dynasty. Here's Damon John. We just talked last week. We're doing another event together. John Maxwell, one of the greatest leaders. I have an amazing team. This bottom right, the bottom middle is one of my most proud moments. We took our entire team, as well as their families, to Costa Rica, to an all-inclusive resort, right? And so for me, this growth isn't just about me, but how can we serve other people? And that's when you can start to have a lot of fun. I got 2 babies, a smoking hot wife, financial stability, all this good stuff. All right, let's get going here. All right, let's keep going. So number one, guys, is that one of the cool things about HighLevel is there's so many guides, it's not even funny. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of people here willing to serve you and help you. I have never met a CEO that's probably more Paulson, interactive in the community than Sean, and of course, Robin. And these guys are incredible leaders that are very involved. And I think this is one of the big things. And this is why you're here. We got several hundred people tuning in. How do we learn and scale? And there's so many resources in this community. One of the things, though, here's this story, by the way. Karen and I both shared this. So literally in Nicaragua, where we were for 11 years, this tourist got lost, and they actually found her later. She went up on one of these big volcanoes without a guide, and she got hurt and stuck. Sometimes it's better to let's get under the wings of someone else and let's grow with them. Let's learn from other people's mistakes. All right. Just a little context before we get going. I'm a family guy. I am very, very big into my family. I turn off my phone every day. I will never guide you in a way that contradicts this. I'm a man of faith. I'm very committed to creating 1,000 jobs in Latin America that pay over $1,000. Our goal is to get about $50 million in paid salaries. And the course of our work over the last few years is how do we help people, again, with this aspect of scaling with stability. We already went over this. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get you to the framework. We got to get going here. So I think it's important that as you grow, you understand the difficulty, because what I see people is getting into this trap, guys, is that they start to grow and then they're like, oh man, I'm messing up, man. I haven't taken action. I haven't posted. I haven't done what I need to do. And what ends up happening is is that you get a little bit more demotivated by this. And so I like showing people this framework because you are going to hit barriers, and those barriers are so common. And the moment I learned this framework, guys, I started to give a little bit of grace to myself, which allowed me then to refocus and just start again taking action. So, Paulson, you could be my guinea pig on this. I've just got a random folder that I just got here. One of the things that struggles is, and what I love about not only this tool but HighLevel as a product, is that, Paulson, let me ask you the question here. If I'm really good at sales, I mean, this guy just signed up for HighLevel. He's the best sales guy in the world, right? And so he's getting better and better and better at sales, but he sucks at product. Can he grow and scale?
Absolutely.
If he is really great at product, but he's really great at sales, but he sucks at product. He doesn't know anything about HighLevel. Can he grow and scale? The answer is no, Paulson.
Oh, answer is
messing
no.
with my data here.
Answer is no. I
No,
was like, what point
you
are we
can't.
making?
Let's be honest. You can grow a little bit, but you can't grow really big. No, but wait, Paulson. If you're really great at sales and you're really great at product, but you suck at managing money, can you grow and scale?
No.
No, you can't. It's going to be really hard because you're going to end up not saving enough or not putting the money or not filing. Okay, well, wait. If you're really good at growth and you're really great at product and you're really great at finance, but you're terrible with people. I mean, nobody wants to connect with you. You're terrible at customer service. Can you grow? No, you kind of, as you're growing and scaling, I kind of see these as we have 9 principles of growth. And I want to put this in you because you have to be halfway decent at each one of these. And so what I've learned is I got to be always, I mean, I want to push towards my strength, but I also have to be focused on my weaknesses as well, right? Or else it becomes unbalanced. We're going to come back to this board here in a second, but we start going through these principles of growth. All right. Again, and you're going to see by the end of this why HighLevel is such an incredible product that happens to be an incredible tool that happens to be an incredible ability, use tool that you can help sell, which makes this really unique, incredible software business model as a whole, right? So number one, you have growth, right? So this is branding, sales, your marketing, guys. I've seen a lot of companies have incredible product, but they don't know how to grow. It's really, really difficult for them to scale. The next one, as we keep going here, the next one is your offer. Guys, that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. We're going to be talking about what should you be offering? Is it clear? Is it simple? Is it direct? Does it actually serve the audience that you're working with? Some of you guys might choose to say, hey, I want to work with roofers or an industry. Some of you say, and I want to serve my backyard. Well, my backyard is Searcy, Arkansas, population 30,000. Very different level of needs than someone in a big city that's a big roofer in Dallas, right? And so what is your offer, and does it match the type of people that you want to go after? The next one is operations. Again, how are you systemizing your approach? How are you creating SOPs for your employment, for your fulfillment, for your operations? All of these things flow together, right? The fourth one here is service. We're going to talk about this later today. Service is what I believe is just a compounding factor in everything you do. We're going to go over the 5 levels of service, which I learned by the man by the name of Ron Kaufman. And we're going to be talking about how this compounds the sales, your employees, your strategic partners, all of these types of things. So these are the 4 primary principles of growth. Guys, if you're missing one of these, it's going to be really hard to scale. Once you find a coach that can help you formulate your offer, make sure your product is on point, who are you using to fulfill that product, your sales system, your operation system, how am I keeping up with all of these clients from a financial standpoint, from an SOP standpoint, and then of course, how am I serving at a level that makes them never leave me, right? We keep going through these different principles. The last one, or the 5th one here is people. Guys, it's really hard to grow without human beings, right? Whether they're your clients, whether you're customers, again, strategic partners, people is a whole entire chapter on again, this idea of scaling. All right, next is these outer deals. Motivation, education, and execution. Now, these things, I sometimes I give like a demo of this, and I'll put something in the middle. If we go back to this book here, and it doesn't matter here, right? But again, as you grow in sales, if you don't continue to improve your product, it'll just slip right off, right? And if you grow your sales and you grow your product, but you don't improve your operations, again, the ball's going to drop. But this motivation thing here, as I lift this up and I continue to grow my business, you can see I have to have both hands to kind of balance it here. But this motivation, guys, if you can learn from these seminars, you can get onto the lives that's happening. You just go to this event, the level of something is incredible. You get this motivation. What motivation causes you to do is, I want to learn more. That's why you're showing up here today. Now, the next step is execution. What happens if you learn more and you don't execute? You get less motivated. And so as you start to spin this on the outer side, you can actually start to see, if I can do this right, you can start to see that it starts to spin, right? And this is this incredible centrifugal force that we want to create in your business, where as the owner, you're constantly in this path of, man, getting excited, motivated, educated, and then executing on everything that you guys are learning today. Oh, by the way, same is true the other way again, right? Like if you don't execute, what happens? You get less motivated. I went to the last week, I skipped the gym. I didn't go in the morning. So guess what I also did that day? I ate ice cream and I slept on the couch all day, and I didn't do anything else because I was like, well, shoot, I already missed the gym. Why are we even here? Right? So here's what I would love for you guys to do, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or comment below, wherever you want to engage. What is the principle here that you're lacking the most of? While you're doing that, you have 8 here if you're counting. And I told you there was 9. There's one more, and that's in the middle here. That's this little heart thing. I believe, without a doubt, that as you really grow and scale, guys, entrepreneurship is one of the most difficult and complex things you'll ever be a part of. I'm giving you permission right now to know that this is stupid freaking hard. Now, I'm going to also tell you over the next 2 days why HighLevel makes it way easier, but this is hard. What I have found is if you have a commitment worth fighting for, it makes it so much easier. For my wife and I, when we were in business before, we were just kind of playing for ourselves. But then we got really into this passion of creating 1,000 jobs. We got really into this idea of, you know what? We have a lot of our employees in Nicaragua specifically. Did you know that at 1,000 team members with what we pay today, we would be the highest economic provider in the entire country? Like, what could we do for a nation if we were literally the highest paying employer in the entire country besides the government? Man, we could change literally a nation. And that was our driver. I can't figure out growth, man. I'm going to go figure it out. I can't figure out the offer. I'm going to go figure it out. I can't figure out ops. I'm going to go figure it. Why? I'm good, but the people are not good, right? How do we dig in? What is your weakest principle here? Also, what is your strongest? Now, as you grow and scale, you guys are going to find strategic help on each one of these things. There are people within the HighLevel community that can help you so much on your operations. There are people in the community here that you could partner up with that has an incredible offer, but they're not good at growth. And that's one thing that I have found that's huge in the HighLevel community is these strategic alliances all over that serve each other, that are able to help each other grow and scale. Okay. We're going to move on. Any thoughts, Paulson? We'll keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going. I'm seeing the comments. I'm seeing people engage here. We appreciate that. JC, are you I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Ray Dalio's Principles, and it kind of reminds me of a lot of that book of principles. And agency owners typically don't have the right principles because usually they're solopreneurs, they're, mom and pop shop starters, and they're just going full speed, and they get to a point where they have to manage people. And that's when it's like, oh man, I can't expect someone else to operate like me. And this is where a lot of this, what you're describing is, very applicable. Can you help us understand what are some principles that you were ultimately focused on in the early stages?
So this is why we picked these 3. Is today I'm going to talk about levels of service, because I think when in doubt, follow this rule that I'm about to show you guys. When in doubt, follow this rule. I feel like HighLevel is exemplary when it comes to this rule. Anyways, number 2 is you're going to think about product and you're going to focus on sales. Those 3 things, these 3 principles that we're going to showcase today are so, they're everything when it comes to launching your SaaS offer, launching this product to your communities of whatever the case may be. The other ones you should have to pay attention to. It's no different than my marriage. My minister said you need to communicate really well and you need to, go out on a date once a week. It doesn't mean we can't lose focus on the other principles of marriage, but those 2, he said, were most important. But there's a lot of things that can cause failure. The reason I like starting off with this, guys, most coaches will come here and tell you the rainbows and wishes. I'm not one of those guys. I want to prepare my people for war. I want to prepare people to go out and be incredibly successful. I want to prepare people that when something does come up against you, that you're ready for it, that you're not like, oh my God, am I supposed to be having this problem? I had a client the other day, Paulson, they lost a client. They're like, JC, I got to change everything. I lost a client. Like, how many clients you have? 10. Well, when's the last time you lost a client? I hadn't lost a client in 4 months. I'm like, no, you don't. Just keep on going, baby. It's normal. It's normal to lose a client, right? And so I think the more we prepare people, the better equipped you are to overcome.
I love it. Tell us about levels of service. Why is that a big emphasis?
So, guys, this is a framework. And what I want y'all to do, how many, put a 1 in the chat here. I'm looking at Facebook, but put a 1 in the chat if you already have a couple of clients. 2, if you have 0 clients, if that works. This framework, what I want y'all to do as you're thinking about your business is I want right now, before we even get started, I want you to write down 2 or 3 touch points you have with a client. I want you to write down 2 or 3 touch points you have with a client. So I'll just give out examples and you can put whatever you want down. Your first outreach call to them, right? The first time you show up in the gym and just see them. The first time you send them a report, that's a touch point. I want you to write down touch points. It could be a phone call, interaction, a QA call, but a touch point you have with the business. I want you to write down 3. And this framework helps me, guys, and I work sometimes with marriages. I work sometimes at the church. This framework works in everything. You can use this on your wife or your husband if you want to, all right? A touch point there would be waking up in the morning when they come home from work or whatever, but touch points. All this is a simple framework for you and your team or you and your whoever to get aligned in where you're at so that you can improve, right? Oh, by the way, just as a side note point to this, some of you guys are solopreneurs and you're just getting started. I see a lot of people out here with no clients or just getting going. You are disserving yourself by not utilizing your spouse in the beginning. Remember when Karen and I were just getting started, she didn't work in the business. And you can go, you're going to learn tomorrow about HighLevel. And if you go, just pitch it to your wife or pitch it to your husband who knows nothing about this stuff. And if they walk away completely lost, you need to do your pitch a little better. Right? So utilize your spouse. So just a pro tip, we'll go over it a little bit more next week, but levels of service. So you wrote down 1, 2, 3 touch points in your business. All I want you to do is we go through these 5 levels. I want you to write down the level that you're probably at. That's it. That's simple. All right. So the first level is basic. The first level is basic. This means that you are delivering on whatever you legally bounded yourself to do, right? So I'll give an example. Let's say I'm your client. Let's say Paulson is my client. I don't know, or vice versa. Paulson shoots me an email and it's Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. At minimum, I need to respond to Paulson. He's a client of mine. At minimum, I need to respond. Now, to respond today? Not necessarily. Paulson probably doesn't even expect it. He's probably expecting me to respond next week. This is basic. So again, we think through, basic is the bare minimum to get by. The next one is expected. So Paulson sent me that email. It was Friday afternoon at about 5 o'clock. At minimum, I have to respond. But what is Paulson's expectation? It's probably that I respond on Monday or Tuesday, right? So is my SOP and the way I work following the basic level of service, or am I following the expectation of my client with that pinpoint? It's not rocket science, guys. By the way, I had a 2.1 GPA in college. All right. Now we have several million-dollar companies, 10 million in revenue. There is nothing I tell you that's going to be genius today. If you're looking for some type of revolutionary, crazy thought, you're not going to find it here. This is simple stuff. The third one is desired. So Paulson sends me that email. It's Friday afternoon, about 5 o'clock. His at minimum, I have to respond. His expectation is Monday or Tuesday, but Paulson really would love me to respond this weekend. I mean, that would be he's really intrigued with what he sent me over, and he really wants to know, JC, are you going to show up to this thing or not? Are we going to make something happen? Right? And so again, we're going back to your clients, or maybe we're going to your employees, right? I hired 4 new interns, started working for us just yesterday, and their first day is tomorrow. And I wonder, at minimum, I need them to show up, and I need to be there, and I need to lead them. But I wonder, what is their expectation walking into that? I wonder, what is their desire walking into that? Because these are two different things. Basic, expected, desire. Now, the cool thing about these first 3 steps, guys, is that it's all about what the client wants. It's all about what the client wants. Now, here's the problem with this, guys. Here's the problem, is that we want to exceed expectation. We want to exceed expectation. Now, for me, this is also how I live my life. There's a quote out there, and some of you may know it. Love covers a multitude of sins. Love covers a multitude of sins. For me, the more rapport I build with my clients, the easier it is to overcome when I mess up. And so you guys, this tomorrow, we're going to talk about the sales process, or excuse me, the product. The next day, we're talking about sales process. We're going to be showcasing to you how to go above desired. Because here's the next level. It's really simple, surprising. Now, if you were really critically honest with yourself, so far we have 4 levels. Are you surprising the people? Paulson sent me that email. It was Friday afternoon. He expected to come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If JC could send it this weekend, that'd be really great. Holy cow. Man, JC responded Friday. I wasn't even expecting that, right? How often are we going above and beyond? When I surprise my wife with flowers, that's what we call them, wife miles. I don't know, Paulson, if you've ever heard that, wife miles. You know, it now allows me. Now, again, we don't abuse this stuff. I'm not telling you guys to have a crappy company because you wow them every once in a while. What I am telling you to do is that as you move forward and you just naturally forget, or you mess up, or you show up a little late, the more we can surprise our clients, the better. So what are ways we can surprise our clients? Did you know that in HighLevel, we can send brownies to clients? Is this true, Paulson? We send brownies to clients through HighLevel via automation. Do you think any of your clients, they're paying you $250 to $400 or $500 a month? Do you think they're expecting you to send them brownies? Heck no. What is the chances of them canceling on you within the next week or two if you sent them brownies? This is an easy example. Some of it's just answering the phone. Some of it's showing up in the evening. Some of it's calling whenever you see they made a post that their kid graduated. You just call them, man, I just wanted to say congrats. It's so exciting. If you have any tips, I'm a mom. How do we surprise the people around us? Same thing with your team, guys. Some of you guys are going to be working with people from around the world. U.S. citizen. I employ a lot of people overseas. And there's so many opportunities to try to surprise your team. And the more you do it, it just makes sense. The more likely, the more happier they'll be, the more excited, the more willing. I had a team member just this weekend that I called up because I needed their help over the weekend. I felt terrible asking, but I just really needed it. Hopefully, I've served them in a way that's built enough rapport that, man, they just were more than happy to do it. The last level, guys, is unbelievable. What I'm willing to bet is that most of you, if the 3 touch points you wrote down, none of them are in surprising or unbelievable. Most people that we survey and people that we coach or mentor, rarely do we have someone that's honestly saying that, yeah, dude, I surprise my clients at this point. I mean, when they show up, we are crushing it. Some of you will. Some of you will. But again, as we go back to these principles, all these principles are interlocked, right? So how we do growth is have great operations, right? And oh, by the way, how we do growth is also we have great levels of service. So whenever I take year one of Hite, I made the gamble. I don't know, it may have not have been a smart move, but in year one of Hite, I ended up taking our entire team. At that moment, I want to say we had 15 or 20 people, maybe 30 grand in the checking account. But I knew that if we were going to continue to grow and scale, I was only going to do that with human beings. And so we decided to take a big jump, and we decided to take our entire team and their families. I think we had 32 people in total to Corn Island. We flew everyone to a Caribbean island. Didn't cost us much because we were all based in Nicaragua, but it cost us around 10 or 15,000 bucks. But it was those deals to go, hey, people, customers, team, partners, I want to do above whatever the expectation or desire is in order to serve you in the best way possible. The best way possible. Oh, by the way, guys, there's also a sixth level that's a little hidden. It's also unbelievable, but it's at the bottom of this pyramid, right? You guys have had those experiences with customers like, oh my God, like it is unbelievable. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, right? You want to stay away from this. One of the things that I will tell you, just coming back to this, is surprising and unbelievable is going to be your best sales methodology possible. If you were to skip Thursday, or excuse me, if you were to skip Wednesday's session where we talk about sales, which you shouldn't, because we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways in that day. But if you were, your best methodology, I think this is why HighLevel's grown like crazy, is because they surprise and delight and they give an unbelievable service, starting with the CEO at every single touch point they possibly can. And that's hard at scale. Trust me, I know. That's really, really hard. Okay, I've beat a point here. Last point with this is, and I just want to set the expectation. Some of you guys may look at this and see, oh, JC, yeah, it's a staircase going up. It's not. It's an escalator that goes down, unfortunately. If I buy my wife flowers or if I buy my wife flowers on Friday, she gets excited, it's going to be surprising. But if I start doing it every single Friday, what ends up happening now? It becomes expected, right? And so what I want to encourage you to do when it comes to the levels of service is one of the few things that I will tell you: automate the process and not the experience. Automate the process and not the experience. I want you to automate a reminder to yourself to go, Paulson's been a client for 6 months. I should do something for him. But I don't want you to automate brownies every 2 months. That doesn't make sense to me, right? Okay. If you end up doing this stuff, it will dramatically change everything. If you DM me, because I wanted to make sure we had about 10 minutes, 15 minutes here of time to just answer questions or ideas, or Paulson and I to just chat back and forth and just continue to share this experience with you guys. I want to encourage you guys. I am in love with this idea of digital marketing. I have been for several years now. And again, one of the biggest reasons why I'm in love with a lot of different avenues of digital marketing is because I think the barrier of entry is low. And two, it is one of the most unique historically. I mean, this opportunity has not thousands and thousands. And my dad never had the opportunity to go learn about a technology and within 6 months to a year make $10, $20, $30,000. That was not a thing. We're the first generation by far to have this opportunity to jump into a tech. And maybe you would be crazy, but I'll say it. Paulson will cancel me. But like, even if you don't choose HighLevel, I'm just going to do SEO. I don't want to take on this amazing technology. Or there's so many opportunities. So I love the digital marketing world because it gives men, moms and dads specifically, men and women, moms and dads specifically, this opportunity to build something that gives you the freedom to be with your families. It gives you the freedom to show up to practice and do all this great stuff. It gives you the freedom to create jobs in your community. It all starts with customer experience. So here's what we're going to do, guys. Tomorrow, just to recap, context, guys, tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to go heavy into real technical stuff. And if there's any way, I saw several of you guys already messaging myself and on Instagram. I think my wife got like 100 messages after her session. So we're not competing, but we are. You can message me on Instagram. I'm not as pretty, but I can help. Today we're talking about these frameworks, and then over the next couple of days, we're going to be executing on these two biggest frameworks, right? The product itself. What are you selling? What things to ignore for now that may be just a distraction for you in this exact moment? What things are easy to execute and serve your clients in a huge way? And then day two is going to be all about growth. All right, guys. Any questions, thoughts, ideas, anything? Throw them into the chat, and we can go from there.
Awesome. So those of you that are watching, tell us what are some takeaways you've had so far. JC talked a lot about, building a culture within the business in the early stages that puts customer service at first, puts client relationships at first, puts internal team members at first. JC, can you share, what does this look like for the beginner? And what does it look like for the, I guess, the seasoned agency owners? Can you differentiate the two? Like if I'm by myself or maybe two
Yeah.
people, how do I create this the right way versus
Yeah.
if I've got, 100 employees?
Well, I think the mindset there of service is key. And so one of the aspects we're going to teach on day 3 is how I moved to a brand new city and started doing workshops in that city. And I actually created a funnel where I sold people, like people paid to come to the workshop because they wanted to learn how to automate their business. Then I did another workshop on email marketing. Then I did another workshop on your website. All of these are tools within HighLevel. We ended up charging for that, but we also tested giving it free to like the chambers, the BNI groups, and going in there. And when you go in with just like, I'm going to give them everything. And then when people ask for help, serve them. Like, I mean, we're going to figure out a way to help them. Honestly, I've had a different mentality than a lot of people, which is I'm going to fill every hour of my time serving someone, even if I only get paid $1, every hour of my time, because even if I only get paid $1, that's a referral and it's a potential person to pay me more down the line. And so one of our growth methods, and we've done millions of revenue. So when I tell you we did serve for $1 in the beginning, it was just for a short while, but I got that experience in helping you. So if you're a beginner, we're going to teach you how to sell through service. Some of you guys suck at sales and you will love it because it's so much easier than going out and doing hard sales. Some of you are great at sales and this is just going to compound everything you do. If you're a seasoned person and I've already got 100 clients, 200 clients, 300 clients, what I will tell you is I would look at how many new clients you're getting through referrals every month. And if that is less, let's say, than 2 or 3% of your total client base, in other words, if you have 100 clients, you're getting 2 to 3 new clients just on referrals, not paying a penny for them, you need to really think about uplifting your level of service. And I will pay more for Chick-fil-A, not because it's that much better of chicken than somewhere else, but because I love the service. And you will find hands down, I've had customers, bigger companies, so $1 million clients, where we went into Paulson, where literally our focus for 4 months is increasing service, and then we up our pricing by $400 or $500, and we're able to easily do that because of the service that we deliver on. Either way.
I love that. I love that. Now, for tomorrow, we're going to talk about offers, you said, and then day 3, we'll talk about sales process. Is that right?
Right. Yep. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about the products that we believe are the easiest to jump in for someone who's never done this before. Man, HighLevel is so many opportunities. I want you to focus on a couple of things that can best serve your market that you can hone into and learn really, really, really well. And then I want you to ignore the rest of the stuff just for a little bit. We're just going to play with this one gift, and then we'll go from there.
I love it. Well, we'll see you tomorrow then, and we'll have the replays out for you. Today was more of an introductory segment. There is a Spanish version if you are not familiar with the English Spanish that we're doing with this workshop. JC's wife, Karen, is doing the Spanish version. And it's a great test for us to kind of just, bring it all together. But our goal with this workshop is to help you start a digital business, essentially, how to start either a freelance business and a formal agency, or even work within another agency agency to just get the ball rolling. These are a couple of different ways to look at it, but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. So English session is at 1 p.m. Central or 2 p.m.
That's right.
EST. And then the Spanish version is at noon EST or 11 o'clock Central for those of you that are in Central Time. But either way, I'll see you tomorrow. And if you are seeing questions and comments, JC and his
Yeah.
team, as well as High Level and our team, we're all watching and commenting. So we'll go through and drop a bunch of comments and provide some feedback there.
Yes.
But either way, bye for now.
See you guys. Y'all have a blessed day.